think about how crazy this must have been, because he almost knocked out Jiri at the end of the previous round. You know, the end of round 1, he almost starts Jiri right there. And you come out at the very beginning of the next round where everyone is super on edge, like, man, that was almost over. And then immediately this happens. And no one knows who Alex Pereira is really going to fight next. Dana doesn't know. No one knows. But let me give you a scenario that I think everyone should be rooting for that is not Alex Pereira versus Jon Jones, even though that would be absolutely incredible. Think about this. Think about this. How about if Izzy starches Dricus, okay? And then Izzy calls out Alex Pereira at 205 for their rubber match. Think about that. If Izzy went up to 205 and their rubber match was there, given how terrifying Alex Pereira is. I don't think Alex Pereira could be beat at 205 by a striker. I don't think it's possible. I do think that he knocks out Izzy in that scenario, but the fact that Izzy would want that fight, which for sure he would because Izzy's a complete savage, okay? That's the fight I want. Give me that fight. Give me that fight. I love seeing guys fight at different weight classes when you have like a rivalry at a different way, you know, because it's like, let's see how they did. The fact that we never got to see Jon Jones against DC at heavyweight is a travesty. Let's right that wrong and let's get Izzy against Alex Pereira at 205, assuming that Izzy is able to get through Dricus. Let's do that. All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back. So we got a scandal according to Ian Garry. And it's an actually very interesting topic because people are breezing over this, and what he's accusing MVP of is something that has gotten people put into jail, okay? They haven't gone to jail yet, but has led to lifetime bans from the sport and federal charges forthcoming, okay? Now, everyone's like, oh, you know, there's nothing here that's against the rules. Well, maybe. And what Ian Garry's saying is it should merit a lifetime ban. He also ratted them out to the commission. I don't know if you guys knew that yet, but what he alluded to in the press conference with MVP and the information and all that stuff, he straight up said, he's like, I already had a conversation with the commission, and he's like recommending that not only is he investigated, but that MVP gets a lifetime ban is what he said. I'll play the clip for you. That's aggressive, you know, that's pretty aggressive, but it is more serious than it sounds, depending on the usage of the information. Anyway, there's a lot to talk about right there. I promise I'll have some solid information for you there that you haven't seen or talked through. And then we are going to talk, because of that topic plays straight into something that Dana White said in his press conference, which I was going to do an entirely separate video about this, but because it's such a perfect segue here, I want to talk about what Dana said about Ryan Garcia's positive test, okay? So Dana talked about Ryan Garcia popping hot for rostering, and in the way he was very careful about how he talked about it, I think that at least what he was seeming to allude to, in my opinion, was a mole in Ryan Garcia's camp that was paid by the other side, which may have led to the Austrian pop. Anyway, so I'll show you exactly what he said, and you know, we'll talk about that. And then also I want to show you this thing with Israel Adesanya, like where Izzy did what I would consider to be standard operating procedure if you were even a moderately competent fighter promoting their own career, and he is getting eviscerated about it, like just eviscerated online. Like he posted, you know, he said something about Alex Pereira post-win, and it's like, dude, the army came out. They were like, you son of a bitch, Izzy. They're lighting him up, dude. Like lighting him up. Listen, dude. This is what makes the sport fun, you know, people loving or hating a fighter. But I didn't realize so many guys hated Izzy to where they're just chomping at the bit. They're all, did you act like you did something good at some point? Because you haven't. You've done nothing. You've accomplished nothing. You're trash. Your girlfriend's ugly. Actually, you probably have a boyfriend. Something about your dog. I think you're probably getting down with dogs. You know what I think? I think you'd probably lose in a fight to the guy who said that he could beat Alex Pereira in a fight because he wrestled in college. Like that guy probably beats Israel Adesanya, you know? It's really crazy to think of like the impression of Izzy as a fighter from where he was pre-Sean Strickland fight to now. It's like people think that he's like a complete non-factor because he lost one fight to Sean Strickland in circumstances that are kind of understandable because we've seen that movie a million times. You know what I mean? GSP said that there was one fight in his entire career where he was not terrified of his opponent, and it's the one where he got knocked out. He went into that Matt Serra fight just like blindly confident that he's like, I'm too good. There's no way this guy beats me, and he got knocked out. That's the Sean Strickland fight to Izzy. Now, I'm not saying that Sean is an easy puzzle to solve and that when they fight again that Izzy's going to be just able to walk through Sean. I'm not saying that at all. But I will say that for sure Izzy took him lightly. He went in and guaranteed a victory to Dana and Hunter and them. That's why they made the fight. And he went in there way overconfident, did not respect Sean. He won't make that mistake again. But again, like, dude, he was just coming off of the Miami show, 287, where like that I was at, where he knocked out Alex Pereira, one of the most iconic knockouts of all time. He couldn't have been in a higher position of his career, and then, dude, has a bad night, and now everyone's all, shut up. Just wait till you see how hard people are hammering him, dude. Anyway, so that's what we're going to do. Appreciate you guys. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel and tell all of your friends. Jesse on Fire still has a channel, believe it or not. You know, went to Mexico for a week, and it's like YouTube was like, oh, I thought you were retired, dude. Well, I thought you were retired. That's why, that's why every video is like, I'm like, what is going on? And it's like, hey, your video is appealing to a smaller audience. I'm like, it has one of the highest click-through rates of any of my videos ever. Yeah, but, I mean, listen, dude, you took 6 days off. So we moved on without you. We moved on without you. The YouTube algorithm is basically just like the UFC. Like, if you're like, I'm going to hold out for more money, the UFC's all, okay, well, go ahead and do that. You got a lot of leverage. YouTube, you're like, gosh, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to go on vacation. They're all, okay, yeah, go do that. Don't worry. We won't just start showing other channels to all of your entire audience. You're going to take 6 days off? You're going to have to earn everybody back, dude. Earn everything back. By the way, you got to go watch Mix Molly Whoppery's new video about Sean Strickland. That's why I was thinking about this, is because it's a fantastic, dude. Mix Molly Whoppery is cranking out content right now, and his stuff is fire. Go get a look, but don't do that before you've subscribed to my channel and liked the video. All right, so let's start here. Actually, I did want to show you guys this. This is Alex Pereira's, his kid's reaction to the knockout. This is pretty badass, dude. A little audible. How about we start with the knockout from 3 different angles? How about that? How about we start with that? Let's watch that, and then we'll talk. Then I'll show you Alex Pereira's kid's reaction, because just think about this being your dad. Just imagine Alex Pereira being your dad, and you're there, and he's fighting in a cage in front of the entire world in a championship fight, and then this happens, dude. Jiri is in another dimension right there. That is bananas. If you guys have been watching my content for a long time, as I alluded to, before, I was at the fight when Izzy knocked out Pereira in the front row, like cage side front row. And when Alex Izzy knocked that out, dude, Alex was so fucked up after that knockout. Like, worse. Like, everybody's looking at Jiri. They're all, whoa, he doesn't even know where he is. Dude, Pereira was worse than that after Izzy knocked him out. For real. Like, no question, not comparable. Now, again, that's at 185. Okay. Obviously, he's a lot more durable at 205. Completely different ball game here. But, like, dude, he was absolutely Titanic knocked out and wrecked after that. All right. So now let's watch the next angle. All right. Everybody's like, what was Herb waiting for? I realized, I'm like, I'll tell you exactly what he was waiting for. People broke his balls about an early stoppage last time. He's like, no, not this time. Not this time. Which is messed up, because you know who didn't break his balls about an early stoppage? Jiri Prochazka. And he's the one who had to eat the shots. All right, so let's do it like this. We're going to watch it one more time. Then I'm going to show you his kid's reaction right afterwards. Boom! And then, all right, right. Like, so his kids are like, and boom.
Alex Pereira's son's reaction to him KOing Jiri Prochazka.
if those were my sons, if those were like, if I was in that situation in a title fight like that in there, and my kids, my son, like I had 2 sons that were like teenagers that had grown into themselves where they had fire like that, and I starched the guy, and then I saw that reaction, dude. These guys, some of these guys, it's like, it's the best sport ever. There's no way to recreate a thing like that in other sports, you know? Like, there's no way to recreate a thing like that because the stakes are so fucking high, dude. These kids were there at 287 when he got starched, like I told you. And I'm telling you, dude. Like, if you didn't see my video, I mean, if you go back and look, Jesse on Fire, UFC 287, whatever, you'll find it, you know? And I think I titled it something like, "This is what you missed if you were there." And I have like a 2 or 3 minute video of Alex right after he got knocked out, taken from cage side. And you got to just think like, this is their reaction now. Okay. Imagine how terrifying it would be. Like, I'm always like, when people get starched that hard and it's in person, I'm like, oh my God, dude, is that guy going to get up? You know, it's your dad. It's like, so the stakes are so fucking high, man. It's just the best sport ever. All right, so let's go to Ian Garry really quick and let's see what he says about MVP trying to cheat, and then I'm going to show you what Dana said about the Ryan Garcia situation.
Unfair advantage in their fight. Ian says that he even spoke to commission regarding the issue.
When it comes to what was said, the build-up, everything I said was factual and true. I'm not lying, I don't lie. There was money offered, and it's filthy, and I think it's cheating, and I think it's disgusting in the sport. But I always respect someone who's willing to stand in an octagon with me. I didn't have to fight tonight. I could have waited. Connor's out, I could have waited, but I'm not that person. I want to fight. I want to fight everyone and anyone. I am on this mission to become one of the greatest to ever do it. I'm still learning, I'm still growing, I'm excited to see what the future has.
At official weigh-ins, we saw you having a pretty spirited conversation with the commission. Was that about what you alluded to?
100%. Absolutely. It was like, you can't... Look, the way I looked at it is, how many times has he done it in his career prior to? How many times has he gone into a fight with an unfair advantage? If, as a fighter, if you ask me 2 questions, Ian, would you rather be on juice or would you rather have knowledge? What's more powerful? Knowledge beats everything, right? So that...
I mean, it depends. It depends. And obviously what we're talking about is that MVP supposedly offered money to people on his team for inside information about his camp. Now, for people who are like not understanding what the value of this would be, like, so when Ian Garry's like, what's more important, the knowledge, or, you know, like, I'd rather my opponent be on juice than have the information, or he'd rather have the information than be on juice. And that's easy for you to say, you genetic freak. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, what he's talking about is, I mean, let's just give one example. Nursing injuries, okay? Like, knowing for sure that your opponent is nursing a specific injury, like the value of that in the fight is astronomical, obviously. Okay, like, if you really understand what this sport is, it's destruction derby with human bodies, you know? It's like, you know, destruction derby, you take 2 cars and you just try to destroy the other car, and then if the other car can't move, then you win. You know, like, that is literally what they're doing with the human body. And so everybody has to always go in there with a poker face on. Oh, yeah, everything's great. Things are working out fine. That's why Dana, I believe, is so mad at Connor about the pinky toe, because, like, everybody's always hurt. But, like, you know, knowing for sure that a guy has, like, a hairline fracture in his shin bone, or, like, you know, like, as a more recent, like, huge example, knowing that Francis had a torn MCL when he went into the Gone fight. I knew that. I was one of a very, very small group that knew. And I guarded that secret like it was, you know, like it was what it was. He's going into a heavyweight title fight with his entire career on the line. Because if he lost to Gone, he was going to get buried by the UFC. Everything on the line. And he has a torn MCL. If Gone knows that, what do you think he's going to do? You think he's going to think about hitting him in the head? You think he's just going to go, wait, which one? Left? Cool. And all he's doing is kicking that left knee. That's it, you know? So obviously there is a tremendous amount of value in information there. And then who knows, dude, other things like, I mean, that's obviously has to be what they were, you know, they were looking for injuries in terms of, you know, this fight, because MVP's style and skill set is pretty straightforward. You know what I mean? It's like if you were like, hey man, listen, Garry really struggles when someone has him in side control. It's like, well, I don't think that's going to be very relevant. You know, it's like, I don't think anything other than whether MVP can blitz in and land while not allowing himself to get punched is relevant. And everyone knows exactly what he's going to do and no one can stop it. It's wildly impressive. But anyway, the reason why I said the thing about insider information and leading to federal charges, etc., is because like the free or like the paid for exchange of information has so much value, and it's essentially always dirty, you know, because like your best case scenario, like because if you think of reasons why someone would pay for that information, your best case scenario is that it's an opponent who wants to target the knee or whatever, or target a nursing injury. The more likely scenario in many cases is, you know, and they said that, you know, they said that it's for MVP's camp, but the more likely scenario in many cases, they're going to bet with that information, you know. Now, I don't know what laws there are on that, but what I do know is that in one specific case where a guy turned out that he had a compromised knee, rather than pull out of the fight, it was like, hey man, listen, I have an idea. Why don't you just go out there and give it your best shot, you know? Yeah, you got a bum knee, give it your best shot. And, you know, if it turns out that, you know, you can't continue in the first round, it is what it is, right? And then all of a sudden there's $3 million put on the other side of Derek Minner, you know, or whatever it is, like to lose by first round knockout to a guy who's never won by knockout. And it's like, I wonder if there's anything fishy going on there. I wonder what is going on there. I mean, if Krause and them have not gotten charged yet, assuming that, you know, I mean, if everything I heard was true about them facing criminal charges, then they must have rolled on someone important. Anyway, but I have no idea, for the record. I'm not actually saying that. You would think something would have happened by now. Anyway, now, do I think that it merits a lifetime ban? No, because it's not against the rules. It's not against the rules. Okay? It's not against the rules. So Garry can point out that it's dirty, but it's not against the rules. There are no rules against this. So like you go into the, you know, you went to the commission and he's like, you know, I want this investigated. They're all, what do you want me to investigate? Well, he paid for insider information. You're like, right, which is not against the rules. And he's like, well, it should be. And they're like, okay, we'll take that under advisement, you know. I mean, here's what I would say is if you found out that someone on your team sold information to an opponent's team, I basically would go like this. Well, do whatever you're going to do to them. Don't tell me about it. Handle that however you want. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's one of those things that the commission doesn't necessarily need to deal with, but you as an internal team, if someone tried to sabotage your life for money, like not just, you know, like when I say these guys, the way I look at this is like, these guys' lives are on the line every time they fight, every single time. So Garry wants to go to the commission and he's like, hey, we need to investigate this, whatever. It's like, no, dude, it's not against the rules. But if you find out someone on your team sold compromising information about what injuries you're nursing or what positions you struggle from, so on and so forth, to your opponent and tried to sabotage your fight and life, you guys, that team should handle that however the fuck they want. You don't need the commission for that. And a lifetime ban is the absolute bare minimum that person should get. If that guy should never be allowed within 100 yards of the building. And he's lucky if that's the last, you know, if that's how it ends. My personal opinion, you know, I feel as though like maybe you Shark Tank him. You know, everyone knows what he did. He doesn't know, everyone knows. And, you know, it's just like it turned out this day at practice, like, yeah, you know, so we're going to do a Shark Tank today. You go ahead and start in there and just Shark Tank him. He can't breathe, can't, you know, get in there, dude. What are you doing? And you just spar him until he literally cannot move, breathe, or otherwise drag him out of the cage and go, oh, hey, by the way, we know what you did. So grab your shit and get the fuck out of here, you know? Anyway, so I don't know. Those are my thoughts on that. I mean, Ian Garry sounds very confident that he has the proof that MVP did this, but it's like, you know, this chapter is titled Ian Garry says MVP tried to cheat, but it's not cheating because it's not against the rules. It's bullshit, kind of. But if no one gave you up on your team, then, you know, good job, your team. All right, so let's move over to the Israel Adesanya portion of this video where we look at like what Izzy's getting absolutely hammered for, which I do not understand. Let's watch that real quick.
Adesanya gave his reaction to Alex Pereira's knockout win over Jiri Prochazka last night, and it hasn't been received well by fans. Izzy posted this edit of him KOing Alex to X.
All right, so let's actually watch the post itself before we critique people's feedback on said post.
Pereira, so damn good.
Okay, whoever made that edit, that was badass, first of all. I'm sure that I've seen that, but that was wild. That was awesome. But yeah, so let's look at some of the responses and I will critique. Okay, so this guy says 3-1, right? I mean, that just objectively is true. Like, Izzy was 0-3 against him, and then he won by decisive knockout. Okay, Izzy got knocked out like that once, right? In the second kickboxing match, he got starched. Okay, he was winning that fight all the way along, and then he got starched. In the first MMA fight, he definitely got knocked out, but he was winning that fight also, and then Alex beat him, and then he absolutely flatlined Pereira. But 3-1, fact. I don't understand, though. Does that delegitimizes him knocking out Pereira? Like, that's Pereira's last loss was to Izzy, and Izzy starched him. Izzy can't point that out. You know, like he can't be like, hey, you guys, just to keep, you know, I know he's the man, but like, remember last time I fought him? Everyone's all, oh, yeah, but what it's about the time before that and the time before that? It's like, guys, he's promoting his career. Like, this is what you do in the fight business. Okay? What on earth? Victimhood is one hell of a drug. What? Queer majority? Oh, it's an ad. I'm like, what on earth is that? Why are they showing me that? The funny thing is that for every Alex Pereira win, it makes what Izzy did to him even more incredible. Right. I agree. I totally agree. This is what I don't understand. Bo Hightower. Oh, Dr. Bo. People are acting like Izzy wasn't up 3-1 in the first fight and 1-0 in the second fight before that. Dude, that's what I'm saying. Look at people actually with you know, some half decent takes, good takes in this case. But okay, so actually let me just go back to the video, because the video, right? These are the ones that I saw that I was originally going to comment on because people just went nuts. Let's watch those.
9% of the
Didn't you get 50-40 forward by Trevor from GTA 5? Wait, what?
replies to this post are bashing Izzy. To read off the top replies, didn't you get 50-40 forward by Trevor from GTA 5?
Oh, that's Sean Strickland. Hey, Superfan. Hey, how'd you do against Sean Strickland? Oh, never fought him? How'd you do against that professional fighter? Oh, never fought one. Weird. That's a weird thing to flex.
He beat you twice.
He beat you
three
twice.
times.
He actually beat him 3 times, but yeah.
Actually, 3-1 Shama. This photo of Izzy. Shama.
He's like Pereira's in his head. Okay.
Dude still can't cope. 3-1.
Dude still can't cope. What? I don't understand. Dude, These are crazy takes. I'm just saying, like, these are crazy takes. Izzy went into that fight with this monster who we have all now seen, like verified 100%. This guy is the scariest dude on earth, who had beat Izzy 3 times, 2 times, the last 2 times by stoppage. And Izzy went out there fearless, put himself against the cage, invited that guy to start treating him like a punching bag, came over the top and put him into the shadow realm. How is it, like, how is this how anyone is interpreting the situation between him and Izzy? It's all because Izzy lost to Strickland. You know, or at least that's what I think.
An edit of Sean Strickland dropping Izzy with an eagle emoji. This photoshopped photo of Izzy sitting at a bar. It says,
okay, that one Izzy deserves. That one he deserves. Because for those of you who don't follow this stuff closely, before Alex Pereira came to the UFC, Izzy, talking about him, was like, at the end of the day, man, I'm doing my thing. I'm world champion. And he's just going to be some guy in a bar that's like, hey, man, I beat that guy one time. And so Alex was like, really? Is that what it's going to be? And you look in that guy's eyes, and he went and did like a black magic spell, and he, you know, built himself into the savage that he is again. Well, I mean, not that he was already that. Goes to UFC. He's like, I think instead I'll just take everything from you. How about I just take everything from you? And then Izzy was like, how about I take everything back? And then Alex Pereira's like, I'll go take it up there and then invite you to come get your rubber match. Listen, I think Izzy wants that rubber match. I really believe that. I think he wants, like, if he really wants to be a savage, he should fucking take it at 205. Izzy, okay? Izzy should, if Izzy wins against Dricus, everybody's like, oh, Alex should go to heavyweight. Okay, maybe, but right now you have John Jones and Tom Aspinall in kind of like a collision course, assuming both of them win. If John Jones is going to fight again, you have to do that fight. Right? As exciting as, I mean, most likely, right? Most likely you have to do that. But, Uncle Liev, sure, but a much more exciting scenario is if Izzy beats Dricus decisively, wins by knockout, wins the 85 belt. I know everyone's going to want to be, okay, well, now let's see the Strickland rematch. I love Strickland, but fuck that shit, man. Izzy should try to go win 2 belts with the rubber match at 205 against Alex Pereira. Go up to 205 and do the rubber match in UFC at 205 for the 205 belt. Redemption arc for Izzy, scariest dude on earth, way scarier at 205. Now, listen, dude, I don't think there's a striker on earth that's beating that guy at 205. He looks faster at 205, Pereira does. But that's what you do. Anyway, that's enough for today. I love you guys. Subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell. Bye.